Recordeu silenciar telèfons mòbils, si us plau, dir el nom i el mitjà abans de cada pregunta i fer una pregunta.
Hello and good afternoon, and we're about to begin with Luis Enrique's press conference shortly ahead of the Barça training session and their trip to Valencia for tomorrow's game at Mestalla.
Bona tarda, míster. Marc Grau de Barça TV. M'agradaria preguntar-te per aquest València que
First question about
aquesta temporada.
Valencia, an unstable team, now with a new manager. And if you could speak about the new Italian manager at Valencia. Good afternoon. Yeah, we're facing a possibly unknown Valencia because Prandelli's only been there for a very short time. But from what we saw from the last game, they're very structured in defense, trying to work things out of the back. So yes, I've been able to see some aspects of the new-looking Valencia.
Bueno, no es una situación la del Valencia demasiado positiva.
It's not a very positive situation for Valencia, but they've got some great individual players, which always means they're potentially a difficult opponent, as we know from previous trips to Valencia. So we'll try to manage the game as we always do, trying to take control from the start and limit the opposition's chances. Asking about the right-back position, Sergio Roberto's situation, and the possibility perhaps of the chance of Mascherano taking over that role, because Aleix Vidal seems to be not counted upon. Well, we'll look at the training sessions to analyse Sergio Roberto's situation, but Mascherano, yes, he's always an option. He played well against Man City. He's certainly a possibility for the next game and for other games afterwards as well.
Hola, Luis. Edgar Fornos de RAC1. La temporada passada 4 entrenadors, aquesta ja en porten 3. La situació, ho has comentat, no és massa...
Talking about four coaches last season, another 3 this year at Valencia, but it's always a team that seems to cause problems. What is it about Mestalla that causes such trouble for Barça? Well, because playing away is always difficult. Playing at a ground like Mestalla with their home support, hot, heated, perhaps to express it a certain way, yeah, that's always difficult to play in front of. I don't remember any game where it's been simple for us. Yeah, we have to say they've got through a lot of managers, which hasn't exactly created the stability for the team to grow, but they've got some very attractive, outstanding players.
Buenas tardes, Luis. Raúl González para la cadena SER. Viendo la cantidad de bajas que tenéis en defensa.
Looking at the defensive problems, have you thought about the B team?
Bien, claro, he pensado todas las.
Yeah, of course. I've thought about all the options I've got, especially when you are missing players through injury in the same line. So we look on the bench and in the reserve team. I've still got time. We'll look at what happens today in training. There's still tomorrow morning as well, because I could call on someone late and tell them to jump on the train. Yeah, and the reserve team is always important backup. 3 tricky away games coming up. Valencia, then Man City, Granada come here. And you have to go to Sevilla as well. Could those away games determine how things will go towards the end of the season? No. No, because if we win our games away and don't win at home, what's it worth? No, look, we're just thinking about this trip to Valencia. Nothing else at the moment is of concern to me. I can't control things. What happens in 10 days' time in Manchester, or who knows how many days it is until we go to Sevilla. We don't know what kind of players we're going to have for that game, what form the opposition is going to be in. In football, it's only the immediate future that counts, and that's Valencia.
Hola Luis, Silvia Ortiz, Cadena COPE. ¿Qué te parece que Mestalla, o la afición de Mestalla, esté enfadada con Paco Alcácer y seguramente...
Talking about the reaction perhaps to Paco Alcácer after he left Valencia.
No tengo por qué opinar al respecto porque
I don't think it's for me
que
to
ha sucedido en el fútbol sucede.
comment on that. These things happen in football. They always will happen in football. Different players react in different ways to these things. I'm not really interested in
que haga falta ni que sea
talking about that. I really don't think that's something that I'd rather
en directo para Radio
dwell
Marca.
on.
Buenas tardes. Aprovechando la pregunta de Edgar y de los cambios que ha sufrido el Valencia,
Going back to the previous question about Valencia and their changes this season, last season, what kind of Valencia do you expect? Different to last season?
Bueno, viendo un poco lo poco que hemos podido
Well,
ver del señor
we've
Prandelli,
hardly seen anything of Valencia under Prandelli.
un equipo rival siempre puede optar por
But
decidir a qué altura del campo defender. Eso
any
no lo sé.
opponent can opt for the idea of pushing the defence line forward, trying to put pressure on
La verdad
us.
es que independientemente de lo que
Really,
estamos acostumbrados a que los
whatever
equipos van
way they
variando,
choose to play, we're used to playing against all kinds of systems, whether teams push up
mañana lo que
or
vamos a tener que ser
stick
es,
back in defence.
efectivos en el sentido de
We
encontrar
just
los
need to make sure that
espacios
we're effective at
y
finding
ante un rival
spaces
de un nivel, considero, físico y
against a
técnico
team
alto,
I consider of high
estar
technical and
finos y estar
physical
muy
level.
atentos. Y a partir de ahí las
So
situaciones
we
del juego
need to be
son
very
relativamente
cautious.
parecidas entre
But otherwise, I imagine this will be a similar game against all the other teams because teams tend to drop back and defend when they play against us.
Hola Luis, Alfredo Martínez, Onda Cero. Como dijiste al término del partido el otro día, salisteis reforzados, ¿no? Un 4-0.
You said at the end of Wednesday's game that it was a boost for your confidence. So in the Champions League, you're nicely poised at the top of the group. So is it time now to strike in the league?
Golpes pocos vamos a poder dar. Lo que tenemos que hacer es ganar los 3
Well,
puntos siguientes.
what can we do in the league? Just
esperar que los de arriba
win the
nos
next 3 points and hope the other teams don't.
Estamos en el inicio, todavía quedan todos los
It's still early on in the season. The top clashes between the top teams, most of those have yet to come.
con la confianza de que los demás se equivocarán y nosotros intentar
So,
equivocarnos lo menos
you know,
posible.
we just have to hope that the opponents make as many mistakes as possible and we make as few as possible.
Mejorando nuestra
I mean,
prestación, mejorando nuestro
striking is just
rendimiento
about
y
us generally improving
ganando
as a
puntos.
team and trying to go winning points. That's the only way to stay as high as possible in the table.
Judit Esteban, de Globo.cat. Avui hem vist la imatge de la renovació de Neymar. M'agradaria que
Talking about Neymar and his renewed contract and whether that is calming for him. And do you think Neymar will maybe one day be the most important player in the
Bueno, pues es
team?
un poco la misma idea de todas las renovaciones que se han
Well,
ido
it's the
produciendo
same as all the renewed contracts over the
Gran noticia,
last few months. Great news.
El nivel que tiene el jugador significa
Shows that the
su
player
evolución desde que llegó al
is
club,
developing since
lo que
he
es ya
came
un
to the
jugador, uno de los
club.
mejores del mundo, sin ninguna duda,
He's one of the best players in the world, no doubt
además,
about
gran
that.
noticia, y gran noticia
So yeah,
también,
great news.
por lo que significa que el jugador sigue confiando en el
It's
club,
also
que está a
good
gusto,
to know
que
that he's happy at the
está contento
club
con
and
sus
wants to
compañeros y
stay
quiere
here.
seguir,
He gets
ganando
on with his
títulos
teammates, wants
y el
to
sentimiento creo que
carry on winning titles. I think the feeling is mutual.
Roger Nau, de 8 al dia de 8 TV. Davant de les baixes en la línia defensiva,
Talking about
ja
the
bona part del partit contra el City vam poder
defensive
veure
errors.
l'aparició de Mathieu, també de Dinya,
Mathieu,
i evidentment durant tot el partit d'Umtiti.
and
No sé
also
fins a quin punt
Umtiti
podries valorar una
and Digne.
mica les seves prestacions després
So if
de...
you could perhaps analyse those three players and how they did in the game.
uno de los objetivos que teníamos al principio de la temporada
One of our targets at the start of the season was to strengthen the
más
squad,
consistentes todavía,
to be
más
more
compactos, y eso
consistent,
significa
more
que cualquier jugador
compact.
que pudiera disponer de minutos estar al nivel.
So that means every player
Bueno, esa es la idea
in
de
the
esta
squad
temporada, claramente.
is good
Ha
enough to
habido
play for
minutos
the
para
team.
casi todos los jugadores
And pretty much
y
all
todos
the
han
players
estado
have had
más que aceptable.
playing time
Yo
and have
espero y
performed
deseo,
more than
y ese es mi objetivo como
acceptably.
entrenador, que mejoren sus prestaciones.
Of course, I always want the players to improve. But every 3 days we get a test, but the final exam is at the end of the season when all the games have been played. But I'm really happy. I'm really happy with the game on Wednesday against a team like us, shall we say, who are aiming to win every title. And everyone who played a role in that game showed what potential they've got, and that does make me feel more confident.
Buenas tardes, Luis. Germán Buena, del diario Sport. Siguiendo con un Titi, incluso a los técnicos os ha sorprendido su rendimiento tan rápido, su integración.
Are you surprised how quickly he's adapted to the team?
Estoy muy contento con el rendimiento de todos los jugadores.
I'm happy with the performances of all the players that joined us this season. Some will find it easier than others. That always varies, but it's at the end of the season when I can really thoroughly analyze how my players have done all season. But on a human level, they're very positive signings, technically the same. But let's not forget, this is Barça. There's excessive pressure on the players here. They still need to adapt and improve and feel even more confident.
Aquí, Luis, Aleix Torres del Nacional. La meva pregunta és que avui ha renovat Neymar i Suárez ha comentat que la seva està molt ben encaminada.
Renewed contract and Luis Suarez apparently on good track.
La bona relació entre tots els jugadors i el bon ambient que es viu al vestuari
és un factor clau perquè relationship between all the players is that's a key factor for the stars wanting to stay here and prolong their contracts. That's a very good question that you should ask them. My opinion? Well, yeah, it helps a lot. It's nice that people feel appreciated by their colleagues. They're boosted by that in such a star-studded squad. We've got 3 unique players up front, but behind them there are some especially high-level players. A lot of them are the best in the world in their positions. But that's the grandeur of knowing that the team is above any individual, and that is a key factor at this club. Sometimes the harder that would seem, the truer it is, and I hope that can be maintained for as long as possible. I think you can see that when you look and see how the players feel part of a team, and it's not just the superstars. It's the work that everybody does that, and that is gratifying and a pleasure. And it's nice to see what's happening at Football Club Barcelona.
Precisamente en esta línea, me gustaría como una reflexión en el fútbol actual, lo difícil que es.
Talking about modern day football, when these enormous offers come for the players at Barca, Neymar admitted that lots of clubs spoke to him this summer, but they all end up staying. Mascherano, Neymar, other players whose contracts are being positively negotiated.
¿Cómo crees, aparte de lo que has dicho antes, que cómo se consigue eso?
I mean, how is this achieved at this club?
Pues pregúntale al presi.
Ask the president. He's the one who renews the contracts. I think I answered that question already, really. Just repeat my previous answers. They're all valid to speak about how pleased I am with my players. My optimism is moderate, of course, because there's always still games to come and you never know what might happen.
Tenint en compte que gairebé no has tingut temps per poder preparar...
You've hardly had time to prepare for this game with Valencia because of Wednesday's Champions League games. How hard does that make your job tactically and for preparations? Is it sometimes that just relying on the players and what comes to them naturally rather than working out on things in detail in training sessions? Well, this is my 3rd season, and there are basic facets of the game that are repeated in every game, and we worked on that, and those are the benefits of having a manager in charge of a club for a long period. We don't get much time to discuss things between matches, but that's a normal situation that we are used to putting up with all the time. We're very used to having to deal with these things. It's a question of getting the players back fit again, ready for the game. So rather than training, often it's the video and the team talks that are more important than what we do on the field. Today we don't want to overburden the players, we want them to be fresh for tomorrow's game. So yes, video, it's team talks. It's not really that different to any other game. It's something we can control. We'll get this happening all season. Us, the coaches, we're all used to this kind of thing. Recovery is the most important thing. I wouldn't really want to use that as an excuse for what might or might not happen.
Domènec, del periódico, tú ya has jugado contra un Valencia con 4 entrenadores
You've played against Valencia with 4 different managers, apparently.
Que sucedan este tipo de cosas.
How hard is it to prepare games against a team that's got a new manager? Or do you just prepare your own game? Perhaps is it harder, against one of the elite teams, Man United, Juventus, whatever? Well, I think every game is different, and when new managers come into clubs, then rather than looking at what they do at their own club, you can look at the kind of things they've done before. Prandelli, we can look at his game at the Molinón last week, and I did note that they're very structured in defence. I think that's the kind of idea he's trying to put across. We haven't really got time to... He hasn't had much time to work on things, so there's not going to be any big change in the player's attitude because he's had no time to have any effect. But this will be a game with the typical complications. Well, really, at the end of the day, we only really focus on what we can do. Of course, we look at the opponent and see how we can hurt them, but a lot of the mechanisms are the same as in any game, really.
Le quería preguntar por este tema del calendario de los 4 equipos españoles que han tenido Champions esta semana. Ustedes son los únicos que juegan el sábado.
Of the teams that played in the Champions League, you're the only team from Spain that's playing on Saturday. Do you feel mistreated?
El calendario es el calendario.
The fixture list is the fixture list. Sometimes it's a Saturday, sometimes Sunday, Monday.
Ni lo valoro, ni lo pienso.
I really don't think about that. Again, it's not a question for me. Ask the people who make the fixture list. I'm not even worried. What time is it? Okay, that's the kickoff. Can't change that. I think that's always been my attitude as a manager. I've got nothing else to say about that. We just need to get ready as quick as possible, and that's it. Okay, we've got a Uruguay, and he's asking about the award ceremony yesterday for Luis Suarez. Talking about how he's perhaps changed since he's come here. He passes the ball a lot more, in fact, more assists that he scores goals, yet he was still top scorer last season. How can you assess what Luis Suarez has done? That's how a player evolves when they come to a team where sometimes you're the goal scorer, sometimes you're the one who sets up the goal. We've got the different options. You can see that with our 3 strikers, also the midfielders, when they're coming through from the middle of the pitch. Sometimes it's defenders. It depends on what position you are at a certain time on the field. You have to do what you have to do in that position, and that's something that our players are very good at doing, whether you're signed as a centre forward or whatever position. I think it was really good news. It's so much harder for a defence when they know that there are 3, 4, 5 players that can score goals rather than perhaps just 2, as it is in most teams.
Me gustaría preguntarle qué le aporta la llegada de Prandelli
asking about Prandelli, his arrival at Valencia on and off the field. Do you think he's the right man for the job to create some peace at Valencia?
Hombre, partiendo de la base de que Valencia es una Se suele decir una plaza
Valencia is
bastante intensa,
what can I say, an
por
intense
catalogarla de alguna manera.
job
Yo creo
in
que el señor
football.
Prandelli lo sabe.
I think
La
Prandelli
relación que tengo con
knows
Prandelli,
that.
cuando yo estuve mi año en Roma, él era el
When
seleccionador
I was
italiano,
Rome and he was
demostró claramente
Italy
su
manager,
potencial y su nivel,
we had a
más que de
relationship
sobra
and
para
he
poder hacerlo muy bien en
showed what a
Valencia.
powerful personality he has for
Lo que va a
dealing
necesitar es
with
lo
a
que
job like that.
necesitan todos los entrenadores, que es el suficiente tiempo para
But
poder
what coaches
realizar
really
su
need
trabajo.
is enough time
A partir de
to
aquí,
get
el
their
tiempo
job done.
y la tranquilidad y paciencia que puedan tener sus dirigentes.
It depends how calm and patient the directors at Valencia are with him, because he's a very well prepared coach, both on a football and a personal level. I really wish him a lot of luck.
Luis, aqui atrás, Marcelo Beckler para Esporte Interativo de Brasil. Tite acaba de llamar a la selección brasileña para el próximo para un
Talk
FIFA,
about
confronto contra
the
Argentina
Brazil squad,
por las eliminatorias.
game against
Y ha
Argentina
dicho
coming
que
up.
va a hablar con Neymar y con Dani Alves, que han jugado con Messi, para saber
And
cómo
the
frenarlo.
manager's going
¿Tú
to
crees que es posible que algún
speak
jugador,
to
que alguien saiba cómo frenar a Messi?
Neymar
Acabamos
and
de ver
Alves about
Guardiola
how
controlarse
they
muy bien
can
y que ha
stop
sufrido 3 goles de él.
Messi?
Pues nada, igual,
But do any managers know? Guardiola knows him very well, and Messi just scored 3 goals against him. Well, yeah. When Messi hits form, it's pretty hard to find a solution. I don't know the answer myself, so
será interesante ver ese partido.
it'll be interesting to watch that game, yeah.
Josep Soldado de A3 Media. Luis, ayer se dio una muy buena imagen de equipo con esa...
Great image of the team yesterday when the team went for a meal in Casa de Fels, and how was it for you? Yeah, it was a really nice evening. The teams wanted to, or Luis wanted all the players and their families to come and join him in his celebration. I think that was really nice. Really pleasant evening. I enjoyed myself, and I hope we get more of those nights again in the future. Okay, thank you very much. Don't go away, because we've got live coverage of the first 15 minutes of the training session. We'll be streaming that one.